Ever since LDF was founded under Thurgood Marshall's leadership, we have used visionary legal advocacy to defend and advance the rights, dignity, and full citizenship of Black people in America. We are in courtrooms, we are in the corridors of Congress, we are in church basements, we are in digital spaces using truth to demand justice.
Atlanta should not delay in plans to decommission ACDC in order to facilitate Fulton County's short-sighted plan to reduce overcrowding.
Strong voting rights protections like these have been shown to decrease racial turnout disparities, to increase diversity in elected office, make government more accountable.
LDF submitted testimony or a written statement to the committee to make sure that this issue of the racial justice aspect of January 6th is not lost.
The human rights violations in Parchment have been ongoing for years, and the people who are incarcerated there really deserve some sort of remedy and to be treated like human beings.
This date always registers, in my mind and in the minds of people who know what a watershed that decision was and the backstory of the years, decades of effort that it took to get to this place.
One of the common aspirations of some families who live in neighborhoods like the one that I grew up on the west side of San Antonio was to try and seek opportunity in another neighborhood, in other words, to gain mobility.
And how we strengthen our democracy is we live up to our ideals. We demonstrate that there is equality, that there's justice, that there's opportunity, that all members of our society can participate. And we recognize the need, particularly for the branch of government responsible for interpreting the law, to do so in a way that includes multiple perspectives from people of different experiences and backgrounds to decide what the law is.
The current District 2 packs Black voters here in New Orleans into the same district with Black voters all the way up in Baton Rouge.
You also received a letter from LDF and 16 partner organizations explaining that you have an affirmative obligation to ensure that maps are in compliance with Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act.
Section 2 is particularly important consideration in Louisiana, a state with a long and well-documented history of discrimination against Black and brown residents of the state in all aspects of life.
We think that any correct interpretation of the Voting Rights Act that's consistent with the law would require Alabama to do more than it's currently doing with respect to Black representation.
So in Alabama right now, we have one of our 7 congressional districts that has a majority Black voting age population. But with the exception of that district, none of our other congressional districts actually have a real footprint in the Black Belt region of our state.
We are very proud to represent over 25 student groups and individuals at alumni and faculty and interviewers at Harvard who stand with us and stood with us yesterday to celebrate our diversity, who are here today in front of the court to show us in real life what democracy looks like, what diversity looks like, and we are honored to represent them.
What's really important here, really important to all of our clients, is that talent lives everywhere. Opportunity absolutely does not. And when we have that situation, it becomes extremely difficult for our universities to identify talented students from all walks of life.
All elections are important, but this election in particular, we have the opportunity to flex our power in a way that will determine the future of this country.
Voting is not just how we protect our democracy. Voting is also how we protect each other.
You determine the life that you, your neighbors, our children, and all children ours collectively are going to live by just showing up.
Without the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, I likely would not be standing before you today. Founded by one of my personal heroes, Thurgood Marshall, LDF has had the greatest impact on expanding freedoms and democracies for all Americans than perhaps any single organization in the history of this country.
We are at a crossroads in our nation's history, one that will determine our future as a multiracial, multi-ethnic democracy. This period of certain flux is our time to create a new vision, a galvanizing vision for the future of thriving for everyone in this country. Truth is power means that acknowledging what is self-evident can lead to transformative change.